with comedian Andrew Schultz.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that?
Jay was getting Grammys.
he had one.
Exactly.
He had
And
one.
he ain't show up.
He has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no
marriage.
longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the
Oh,
music.
no,
Nah,
I'm saying shit you didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, it was like this, like.
Beyonce and Jay-Z were at the Nets game, and y'all tell me what you think.
Y'all didn't hear the beat?
I heard the beat, but then the beat went away, and she continued to rock and sway.
Sometimes when you're a musician, if she been in the studio or whatever, the beat is still in her head, and you know she can hear the song, you know, and
it's something so intriguing about that couple. Like, even though, you know, like, it makes it more interesting because you don't know what they were talking about. Like, are they having an argument?
Can we reenact it and let's see what they were talking about?
Now, I told you I wasn't about to get any popcorn now. I'm just tired. I'm flawless, and I'm tired, Jay-Z.
But what about some juju beads? I like juju beads. They're tasty.
I mean, yeah, I know, but it ain't about that right now.
Whoppers. Well, if you don't do it, I'm gonna put you where Solange's at. You can't even see her.
Oh, really? It's like that now? Okay, so let me call her.
Don't do that.
Jay-Z is allegedly gearing up for war, and 50 Cent may have just poked the wrong bear. The rap mogul isn't staying silent after 50 dropped some truly shocking claims about his marriage to Beyonce. Accusations that go far beyond your standard industry beef. We're talking covert agreements, unsettling footage, and allegations that paint a disturbing power dynamic. Is Beyonce really being controlled like a puppet on strings? And what if 50 isn't just causing drama, but actually exposing a dark truth? It's time to unpack it all. Jay-Z is now reportedly coming after 50 Cent, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. 50 has been throwing jabs at Hob for years, but this time, he may have crossed a line. On the Play Grant podcast with Andrew Schultz, 50 openly implied that Jay-Z owes his entire career success to his marriage with Beyonce. He didn't pull punches. He said it outright. Jay's empire only exists because he married smart. According to 50, Beyonce rebranded Jay from a gritty street rapper into a polished, family-friendly icon. And that makeover made him billions. But that wasn't the end. In fact, it was just the beginning. 50 doubled down by bringing attention to viral clips of Beyonce that left fans confused and disturbed. In one video, she appears spaced out courtside at a basketball game, struggling to keep her focus. At first glance, it might seem like fatigue, but 50 claims there's more to the story, that she had allegedly been given something beforehand. Then there's the Grammy footage, where Jay is seen pressuring Beyonce to drink. When she refuses, his reaction, cold, controlling, sets off alarms. Why was he so insistent? Why did she look afraid? It was enough for fans to start asking real questions. People online began saying their relationship seemed less like a partnership and more like a carefully orchestrated power imbalance. And it doesn't stop there. Bun B, one half of UGK, once shared a behind-the-scenes story that now hits different. He said that during a Destiny's Child studio session, Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles, allegedly tried to push her toward Pimp C. Not for love, but for exposure. According to Bun B, it was clearly a career play. That paints a whole new picture, one where Beyonce was being marketed and positioned from a young age to elevate the careers of others. Pimp C may have passed on that opportunity, but Jay-Z didn't. Jaguar Wright, a controversial but outspoken industry figure, has gone on record alleging that Beyonce was specially trained for this role, to be molded into the perfect industry spouse, the queen next to the king. Some dismiss it as conspiracy, but look at the timeline. Beyonce was 20 when she started dating Jay, who at the time was in his 30s, and notably on probation for stabbing record executive Lance Rivera in 1999. He pleaded guilty to third-degree assault and was sentenced to probation in 2000. So why would one of the most powerful and sought-after women in the world tie herself to a man with that kind of baggage? The only answer that fits, say critics, is that it was a business arrangement, a deal made between Jay-Z and Matthew Knowles. And if that's the case, it makes sense why Jay would allegedly need full control over Beyonce, not just her career, but her behavior. That's where the darkest part of the theory comes in, that she was allegedly given substances to keep her compliant. Sounds wild, remember? This is exactly what Cassie accused Diddy of doing, and now suddenly similar patterns are being pointed out in Jay and Bey's world. Blind items have long hinted that Beyonce's immaculate image hides serious struggles. One in particular described a female icon who seems to have it all, but relies on hard drugs to keep up the facade. It claimed her habit had evolved from recreational use into something much darker and more frequent. And while the item never names her directly, the descriptions about her fame, her family life, her seemingly perfect persona are chillingly familiar. And Jay-Z, his own history with the drug world is no secret. Faizon Love, among others, has criticized Jay for glorifying that past, and Jay himself admitted during a sit-down with Oprah that his early years were shaped by street crime. Raised in the Marcy Projects in Brooklyn, Jay began dealing crack cocaine at just 13 after his father abandoned the family. He described the streets as brutal, a place where you had to operate with integrity, even as a teenage dealer. That past doesn't disqualify his success, but it raises new questions when paired with these more recent allegations. Was Jay simply shaped by his environment, or has he continued using manipulation and control to build his empire, including within his marriage? This controversy is deeper than drama. It's forcing fans to question what they thought they knew. And 50 Cent, love him or hate him, might have just cracked the surface of something the industry has been trying to bury for years. The only question left is, how much of this is real, and who's brave enough to keep asking? If you ever crossed Jay-Z, he wasn't the type to slap you with a lawsuit. He'd handle it personally, the old school way. That's the kind of code he learned growing up in the Marcy Projects, where loyalty wasn't just a buzzword, it was survival. And if you understand how Jay thinks, then you'd know that if he wanted to control someone like Beyonce, he'd know exactly how to do it. But is there any real proof behind these whispers and accusations? Actually, yes, more than you'd expect. Body language experts have studied photos and footage of Jay-Z and Beyonce for years, and some of their observations are raising serious eyebrows. Take one image that fans initially thought was cute and romantic. But Blanca Cobb, a well-known body language analyst from North Carolina, had a different take. She pointed out how unnatural their pose seemed, how Jay-Z's grip on Bey's arm wasn't just affectionate, but restrictive. Their lower bodies were in sync, but his hand pulling her slightly back was less about closeness and more about control. "I got you, don't go anywhere." That's what his body seemed to say. Still, that might just seem like a quirky moment, but it gets a lot more intense when you look at other interactions. In another photo, Jay has his hand around Beyonce's neck, when he could have just as easily touched her shoulder or back. According to Cobb, that gesture is unusually possessive. While it's hard to judge her reaction without seeing her face, the distance in her body says plenty. Beyonce doesn't seem to return the touch. The word possessive keeps coming up. Jay's repeated displays of physical control don't just say, "She's mine," they almost feel like branding. Now in public, Jay-Z is far more affectionate than Beyonce. Cobb has said this too. Jay uses touch to show love, while Bey often just tolerates it. She rarely initiates, and that says a lot. Why wouldn't she want to be close with the father of her children? Unless, of course, there's something deeper going on. That leads us into the unsettling theory that Beyonce wasn't in love when she married Jay. She was sold. Publicly, she tells the world she's in love. But behind the scenes, signs suggest their union was more business than romance. And this isn't just tabloid gossip. Beyonce's former bodyguard, a man named Uncle Ron, claimed this himself. This wasn't a fan theory, a blind item, or a wild Reddit thread. This was someone who lived inside their inner circle. According to him, Bey and Jay had a contractual relationship. Even more shocking, he claimed she had substance issues and that Jay might have played a role in it. Uncle Ron didn't just hint at it, he flat out confirmed it. But now Ron's gone dark, vanished. He was all over social media stirring things up. Until one day he disappeared. That silence set off alarms. Some believe he passed away. Others think he's in hiding after becoming a target. But one theory is chillingly clear. If Uncle Ron was telling the truth about Beyoncé's alleged drug use, then he might have become a liability. And suddenly, it's not so far-fetched to imagine Jay-Z allegedly dosing her to maintain control. Especially when you consider Beyoncé's bizarre work habits that even producers have commented on. One music producer once revealed that Beyoncé gave herself 5-hour energy poisoning during an intense recording session. She had been in the studio for over 40 hours, downing energy shots to stay awake while working on 6 different tracks. The producer was stunned when she kept pushing, song after song, refusing to stop. He needed a boost and expected her to crash. Instead, she just kept going. Her planned vacation right after? Ruined. She fell ill. Her body gave out. That's not just dedication, it's self-destruction. At first, fans took it as a badge of honor, proof of Bey's hustle, but look closer. It also reveals how far she's willing to push herself chemically just to meet the bar. Some think it's just superstar commitment. Others believe her body is so fried from years of alleged substance use that she doesn't know how else to operate. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it adds another layer to the already suspicious relationship dynamic. And now with 50 Cent dragging all of this into the light, the question isn't just about Jay-Z's alleged control. It's about whether Beyoncé has ever truly been free in this relationship. Is she a partner or a product? Jay-Z has been accused of silencing people before. So if you think 50's in the clear for pulling back the curtain, you might want to ask, who else has Jay quietly erased when they got too close to the truth? Because this could be just the beginning.